In an interview on Friday, Shannon Beador reflected on her most trying night of filming and talked candidly about her embarrassing Dewey arrest. Shannon also discussed her use of alcohol and thought back on her time spent behind bars. She also complimented Vicki Gunvalson for being a good friend, explained when John Jansen started dating Alexis Bellino, and chastised Tamra Judge for spreading false information about her on The Real Housewives of Orange County. In an August 8th broadcast of Extra that detailed her Dewey arrest and featured the gory photo she snapped during the hit and run event, Shannon told Melvin Robert, the host, "It was really brutal. I've been filming for 10 years, and that was the worst night I've experienced. It seems like I'm walking a tightrope, because I don't want to come across as a victim, but all it has showed me is that I am a survivor and that I can bring about positive change even in such a terrible situation." The fact that Shannon is attempting to set an example for her 3 daughters, Sophie, Stella, and Adeline, added to the heartbreak of her incarceration. To be found guilty of Dewey, the 60-year-old added, "It was just the most humiliating to do all of that when I was physically injured and broke bones. Primarily, I'm thankful that I didn't inflict harm to anyone, since I'm not sure how I would have managed it." According to her, it prompted her to reflect within herself and see the necessary adjustments she needed to make in her life. Shannon acknowledges using alcohol as a coping mechanism and says she enrolled in a behavior health program after being arrested. "I needed to discover why I was making harmful decisions in my life, and drinking more alcohol throughout particular times of my life was one of the ways I was coping with my misery. However, I also wanted to delve farther, and I'm happy I choose that curriculum," she added. "It's been incredibly beneficial for me that I am still seeing the psychiatrist and the therapist on a weekly basis." Shannon claims that she no longer turns to alcohol as a coping mechanism. "I now use other coping strategies. I take walks. I practice breathing techniques. I make use of cold packs." She disclosed that she goes through many processes to deal with specific situations. "I had to examine who I was. Each person has experienced some things in their lifetime, and I choose to ignore them and keep on. And at this point, I'm talking about specific events that have happened to me throughout the years and how they may have shaped who I am now." Vicki stood by Shannon's side when she had a falling out with Tamra over the months that followed her incarceration. "Vicki Gunvalson was the person that was there for me. She said that after inviting me into her house, I briefly resided there. Vicki Gunvalson is the one who supported me. She said that I actually moved into her house and resided there for a while." Shannon was in a difficult situation and needed all the love and support she could receive, especially after finding out that her ex-boyfriend, John, had started seeing Alexis a few weeks after their second breakup. It was challenging. As much as they would like to believe otherwise, John and I had restarted our relationship, and she disclosed that he met Alexis around 6 weeks after he stopped it for the second time. "And so it was pretty new when I met them. I believe they had been dating for about 2 months. As a result, it's both painful and uncomfortable. I was still experiencing a lot of emotional stuff, and I still am." Shannon wasn't interested in making up with John, even if she wasn't pleased with his new partner. She even acknowledged that their relationship is not working. "We were really poisonous in our relationship. However, I don't believe she's the most compassionate person, and I don't want to be in a relationship with her. Why would I do that? Why would somebody do that?" she reasoned. "I think anyone in my position would say the same thing." Going on to her dispute with Tamra, Shannon claimed that her ex-friend was exploiting her for a RHOC plot. Tamra has this story that she just won't stop telling, claiming that Shannon has a problem with alcohol. "She's right, I have acknowledged this in the open on several occasions that I was turning to booze as a coping mechanism." Shannon pointed out that Tamra seemed to be mired in the past, and that there is currently a fresh storyline. "She is completely unaware of my accomplishments, ongoing projects, and areas of focus." Shannon said, "I don't really know what else Tamra would be talking about this season if she wasn't talking about me." I apologize if her statements against me are taken seriously by fans and viewers, as she is not providing accurate information about me. My satisfaction stems from the knowledge that I and people near me possess about who I am. Despite the hopes of others for their reconciliation, Shannon doesn't appear receptive to the notion. I'm simply not interested anymore, Shannon said. But she can be mean and vicious all she wants. I constantly return to our past, which spans 10 years of ups and downs. I've grown to the point where I can say, I'm going to set a boundary and we're not going to be friends anymore. It's not good for me to enter a toxic friendship. A different interview with People had Shannon discussing her 5 hours in jail, which she said was a fine. But she also mentioned that it was very difficult for her since she gets quite claustrophobic. Oh no, I'm not allowed inside, I muttered to the policeman. It is not big enough. Remembering the moment an officer took her to her cell, she said, I can't go in there. Additionally, the air was not barricaded. The object was a door. This is the bigger one, they remark. When I entered to check, they closed the door. Then I'm like, no, you have to let me go. I am unable to attend. Shannon reclined on the bed and turned her back to the wall to ease her claustrophobia. I was only acting as though I was in a bedroom, and she went on. Oh no, you were just in a bedroom. I suffered harm. I was covered in blood. And when they released me, it was just like in the movies. They pulled this garage door open. Even the location eluded me. I wonder, what should I do? They go. You can go after that. I wasn't wearing any shoes. It was bizarre, and I vow never to allow it to occur again. I promise not to make such bad choices in the future. I will not do so.